welcome to what I call yet another podcast. Since there's so many podcasts, but yes,
okay,
another podcast, but one that is a little bit different from all the others because this podcast is about reflecting on choices that we've made in the past and using those sort of lessons to teach us how to navigate the future. So making hindsight foresight, right? And the key question that we're asking is, if I knew then what I know now, yeah, what would I do? But to reflect in not a way that is one of regret or anything, but just to reflect, to think about the choice that you made, what impact it had on you, what you learned from it, and what you can use to what sort of lessons you can use to move forward. So the podcast is really an outcome of all the numerous phone calls that you and I have had
over the
years about all sorts of things, about friendships, about work, about marriage, about bringing up children, about being mothers, being wives, being work colleagues, being people who are so invested in the things that we do, being also very sort of spiritual people, you more than me, but also talking about the role of God and spirituality in our lives, and all sorts of things over the years. And what has been interesting about our conversations, which I always used to say to you, was that because of our difference in age, many times there will be things that you will say to me that I would start sort of thinking, oh my goodness, what? I went through this maybe before, and I didn't think about it the way you did. I wasn't sort of deeply reflective on what was going on at that time, and then this is what I did, and maybe this is because I did this, it had this sort of impact on me, and blah blah blah. So
and I think if I take it from where you said that when I say things then you reflect on it, I'm someone who likes to ask questions. I would rather ask than take the wrong road.
Yes.
It's so important to me to ask questions from as many people as I can, because I feel like the life is short.
Yeah.
Why make all the mistakes when there are people ahead of you who have already
something I never did when I was.
They've already done this. You can save yourself so much ache, pain, especially when, like, I find people like you who we are both always seriously invested in anything we do, and I think that's the attraction there.
Yes.
Whatever we set our minds to, come, let's do this. We can do this.
And do it well.
And open conversations, talk about what needs to be done, plan of actions. We can do this. And you always have that positive, mentality. We can do this. So I think that's really what has kept all these our different conversations going. And there's never a dull moment, because anytime we call, we're able to weave through a series of different discussions.
That's true.
I think it's
conversations that will go on for hours.
We'll go in, go out, work, go through all these things. And I think at the end of it, there's always a lot of learning to take away. There's always a lot of the hindsight, and then looking, the foresight. And I wish, or we hope that, these discussions will help someone out there too.
Exactly.
Just listening, just going through the motions with us. Whether you're a working mother, you're career focused, if it's the spiritual aspect of growth and life and just doing life in general. We're hoping that with our discussions, some very serious, some more lively than others, lots of laughter, warm, that you'll be with us on this journey, not just today. We have a number of podcast episodes that we'll be recording, and we want you to share.
So we've also created, we're creating a website and a YouTube channel where we're going to drop all the podcasts. So we also want to engage with other people, want to listen to our podcast, for you to share your own thoughts, maybe share your own stories, your own experiences, so that we can all learn from each other. So we'll post links to where the podcast is going to reside, and then links to our YouTube channel as well that will have the podcast. So we're going to do we're hoping we can do about 10 episodes, right? Covering a whole list of things. But this is just sort of going to be like our very first episode that, we're sort of setting the stage for continued conversation. So let's get started. So Ada, I didn't introduce myself. my name is Nekobi Amalu. This is my good friend.
Ada Chuku. Sometimes that's it. The conversation.
But this
the conversation
is just get into it.
Yes, the conversation just starts.
Yeah, this is just get into it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the first question then is that when you look back in time, think about a really sort of big decision that you faced. When you look back now on that decision, sort of what are the thoughts that you have about the decision you made, what you learned from it, positive or negative, and when you reflect on it, what sort of lessons do you have that you can share with us?
The other I was thinking of something that we sort of have in common. I mean, the timelines are close and everything is our education journey. I'm still in the middle of my master's in project management in Georgetown University in the USA. I'm about a year and a half into the program. It's a master's in project management. It's something that I've been doing as a professional, but not with the title, but it's something I enjoy, something that I'm good at. And I just felt it was time to, improve myself, improve my career. And I think, if I tell myself the truth, not only about career development, it was just, I needed a breath of new air. I wanted something different. I wanted to, I've been in, our agency for 10 years. I just needed a new scene, and that opportunity came along. I had the opportunity to go with my kids. It was just us. Great time of bonding.
Yeah.
If I thought I knew my kids before, I didn't.
Yeah.
So it was just us waking up every day, doing everything. I'm the only one. There's no one to help. So you're the mom, you're the chauffeur, you're the cook, you're everything. And, we're learning, knowing each other more. Not a hugely large house. So you're seeing what everybody's doing. And so that part
of a great opportunity for your kids also to just spend time.
It's the whole
no house help, nothing, just
no
you
house
and them.
help. So growth for them, growth for me. You've left Nigeria where you have someone you call, you have a driver this way, there was nothing like that.
Yeah.
You're the timekeeper, you're waking up everyone. I think how God can sometimes orchestrate things.
Yeah.
You think that, oh Lord, I just want to be able to go here and do this, give me this opportunity, but he packages the whole thing.
Yeah.
So for my kids, spiritual growth, because it's just me. Once my kids are off to school early in the morning, I have time to focus on self-discovery, asking questions. When they come back, I'm helping with, their homework and all of that. Mommy, we have to go here. I'm the one that will go. We have to do this. Learning to also allow them to be independent, especially at that time. Children are independent. You're walking to school on your own, or you're catching the bus on your own. So,
so the decision to do project management, if you know now what you knew, if you knew then what you know now, would you have chosen that project management?
I would still have chosen project management. The interesting thing was I didn't choose it myself. It was actually my husband that said,
okay, why don't you do that?
He said, is there anything like project management that you seem to enjoy that, And I said, oh, okay. And then he, just while we were talking, Georgetown offers project management
as a master's program
on the management side, because project management has the STEM side of it, construction projects, and then this is the management side. And I think what happened was he saw that, madam, in all the places you've worked, you're always doing one project or the other, and it seems to come easy to you. I don't freak out when you say, oh, there's a project. I know how to start things off. So I would say I would still do it. The school
too.
Yes, there are not that many schools that do project management on the business side of project management. So there's a lot of focus on the planning, on the strategy side, while a lot of the other maybe bigger, more known schools do it on the STEM side. So I will still choose project management. Perhaps, there's also another pathway that I could have taken, which was just to do the PMP exams and be certified.
Yeah, be certified. That's true. And you wouldn't have spent the kind of money you're probably spending to get project management master's degree.
Yes, but if you ask all my professors, each and every one of them, I'll ask, Prof, what do you think? Do you think what's the difference between a master's in project management
and a PMP?
Do you think the certification, and they tell me the same thing. That says, see, the certification PMP is the government that likes the certification. That's what they use to, hey, whether you have a master's degree, we just want you. But with the master's degree, you're looking at it from a leadership perspective. You're looking at it from the strategy. You're looking at it from, we've done courses that look at net present value, return on investment. You're looking at it from that angle. But the PMP, honestly, the exam, you can just cram, get the simple principles. It's just, as we say here, Bali to show that, yes, I know this thing. But the master's gives you...
So what? So no regrets? No, it's not about regret. You said it's not about regrets,
This
right?
for me...
What lesson?
For me, the lesson for me is one, grow. Always seek to develop yourself. If you feel that urge to say, see, I think I want more. I think I want to align myself better. I think I have spare capacity to take on more. Particularly if you're someone who enjoys, acquiring knowledge. Go for it.
So this opportunity was really about growing, and not just growing in terms of sort of picking up additional skills for your career, but also growing in terms of the human being as a mother.
Yes, that was the benefit that came out of it. But of course, when I was looking at it, it was, a bit more focused on me and career development and all of that. But then I got all of that benefit. Yes. And of course, not everyone will have the opportunity to go with their entire family. But if it's here, if it's anywhere, as long as you say, hey, this is what I want to do, or this is what my spirit is really yearning for.
But it must have been difficult. You must have had difficult days.
I'm a workaholic like that.
Okay, sorry, you did it.
I can't lie to you.
Because I think about it, being in America with 4 kids and having...
My kids are very...
independent.
Mature and reasonable, if I would say.
Okay.
And the system forces you to grow up quick. Everything is available, so there's a school bus. Yours is to get up. And I have 2 girls first, and then 2 boys.
So the older girls made it easy.
And they did their thing on their own. So I attended to just the 2 boys, and their schools were not too far away. But I'm a project manager, so these
instinctively, I know.
Yes, it wasn't giving me too much stress.
Yeah.
The only areas would be, the financial weight of everything, especially as the exchange rate.
It just makes it so hard. Yeah, it makes it just so hard for everybody. I wish I could say that my own reflection on education choices is as good as yours, because it's not. So my own story is a little bit different, and there are two parts of it. And when I think about, so listening to you again, it always causes me to sort of think about, okay, what happened then, and why did I do that? Was I even thinking when I, chose to do that, So the first one was in 99, I think it was in 1999, I decided I was going to do a master's program. 1999. So I had left school in 1990, so this was like 9 years later, which is probably would have been the ideal time to do a master's program. And I wanted to do a master's in public policy, and the University of London School of Oriental and African Studies had this, then it wasn't called online, it was called a correspondence program. But it will give you exactly the same degree as everybody. And what would happen is that you would pay for your courses, and then they would send you this huge box, and inside the box will have all your books and then they'll have video recordings of all your lectures, and then all your assignments. So it'll give you your complete schedule. You know, these are the things you need to read. When you finish reading this chapter, you then listen to the video. When you finish doing the video, you then do the assignment, and then the assignment has to be delivered by a particular date. So you must then ship your assignment off in time for it to get
there.
No, the date of your shipping.
Then
was it email? No, it wasn't email. I think, God, I can't remember.
If you say 19, because I know that 2000 was Y2K when.
No, okay, so it was email. So you had to send it off by email, by a particular time on a particular date. It had to leave. Also,
by the way, 1990 tells us.
That's okay, I don't mind. So I started this program and I did the first so it was like a conversion program because I wanted to do public policy. I had to do some basic courses in economics, macroeconomics and microeconomics in order to then start the public policy part. So it was in 2 years. So the first year was all the conversion programs, macroeconomics, monetary policy, So I did all of that. Struggled, did it, managed to pass all of it, and I was now supposed to then move into the second part, which was the public policy. I was paying in pounds. When I finished the first part, I didn't have money to now pay for the second part. And the strange thing is that even I didn't have money to pay for the first one, but I had gone round and managed to sort of raise money from my husband, my siblings, my boss. A couple of different people had contributed for me to pay. I think it was £3,000 then. So I managed to raise another £3,000, and for some reason, I can't tell you why, I was so reluctant to ask anybody for any money. And since I didn't have the money, I just stopped. So I got a postgraduate diploma instead of a master's. So I got a postgraduate diploma in economics. And when I reflect on it, why didn't I
just finish it
do it now? Because now, 19 years later, right, 2019, I now decide to do a master's program in public administration.
Okay.
That master's program was going to cost far more than what it would have cost me when I was doing this thing that I did. And then again, at the time, I didn't think I'd ever work in government. So that was part of the reason why I was like, am I ever going to do this public policy work? Who knew exactly?
I never saw myself working in government.
Who knew that I'll end up in government? So that was one of the reasons why I was like, And it's this idea that this inability to say yes. Sorry, there's something I was looking at earlier today. Don't mind me, I'm always jumping. There's this guy I follow. I think it's a YouTube channel. It's called the Yes Theory. And basically it's this idea of saying yes to every opportunity that comes to you and not having to constantly reflect on whether it's going to be useful because you don't know what the future is going to be, right? So if I had said yes then, I probably would be so different than where I am now. I would certainly would not have spent all the money that I did at Syracuse. Though when I think about it too, the Syracuse alumni is a great alumni to be part of, right? And my Syracuse experience also introduced me to so many interesting people. I'm still friendly with so many of my professors. We send emails up and down. The other day they invited me to a seminar, a 3-day seminar, which we did, which was online, which was fantastic, on designing public policy, on policy design, which was really, really good. Met a lot of other interesting people. So it opened up all sorts of other opportunities, which I'm sure in 1999
may not have been there.
Not even that, I wouldn't have even taken advantage of it because then I was still kind of green and naive and not really thinking too deeply about whether it's important to maintain relationships with people that you meet. Do you understand what I'm saying? So sometimes also when you think back, you're like, okay, yeah, you may not have done that right then, and you do realize that maybe the decision wasn't clearly thought out, right? But God being God, things have worked out maybe the way they were meant to work out.
They always work out.
Yes, they always work out.
While I was in school or when I'm in class, not a specific conversation we've had in the past, but I always tell myself, speak up, say what you have to say. They need to hear your voice. I was very present, and I was not timid, just as you said.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'd done the masters before, I'll just be there, student, taking notes.
Exactly.
But for this one,
yes,
Professor, what do you think about? And they were like, okay, yeah. I didn't no.
There's something about adult education
yes. I think it was adults
that makes a difference.
Yes, because like, hey, I was older than most in my class, and I really wanted to get my money's worth from this education. Don't just give me, the book.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But what was always at the back of my head is like, okay, conversation. So we need to say this. We need to speak up. We need to learn your voice. That was always going through my mind, and I never really looked at. Am I disturbing you? I'm not. No, my question, and you might learn one or two things from the answers to this question.
So hindsight being foresight, right? What sort of lessons would you say we have to give in this conversation about education choices? For me, right, I think it's really important for people to really think through what it is that they are going to do. And in thinking through is not to look at why you shouldn't do it, right? But you should be thinking about it to do. This idea of saying yes to every opportunity because you don't know what it's going to bring for you in the future. So if it's something that you can do, then do it. Okay. But think about what it is that you're doing. Think about the choice. Many of us, especially I think many of us sort of young girls, grew up in our parents' homes, lived in our parents' homes until we got married. We didn't really sort of get the exposure of life, right? And so we're sort of naive, and also maybe in many cases also probably a little bit timid. Yeah. Right? So for me, the lesson now is if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have said yes more often to the opportunities that came my way. I would have been more intentional in the decisions that I made. I don't think I was very intentional when it came to choosing my educational choices. Whether it was my first degree, my diploma, even this current one, one that I just did, the master's at Syracuse. I actually applied to NYU for a program that they had, which was public administration for global public sector leaders. And that particular program was being funded by the American Association for Women. I think that's what it's called.
AAW, yes. American Association for University Women.
Yes.
AAUW.
Yes. So it was a scholarship. And I applied for the scholarship to go and do that master's program for global public sector leaders, as then thinking that, okay, that would be my stepping stone coming out of public sector work. That would be where I would go. And I got accepted.
You did?
But I did not get the scholarship.
Oh.
Right? And NYU then was like $50,000.
Yeah.
And living in New York, and that's just the school. We haven't talked about what it costs to live in New York. So even though I got accepted into the program, I couldn't see a way to fund it. But then again, when I look back, I'm like, why didn't I just go?
Yeah.
I was holding this thing in my hand when Sharon Chazo was our ES. And I remember I had gone to speak to her about it, and strange enough, that day she was telling me about somebody else who had just gotten accepted into a program and had come to her office to say the person wanted to take study leave and she had said no. And I was sitting there thinking, so that she's saying no to this person. She's telling me
that she said no.
How do I now tell her that? And I was holding my acceptance letter in my hand.
So you didn't ask her?
I never said a word to anybody about it. I looked at it and I couldn't figure out how to fund it. And so
even in this small thing you said is that lesson.
Yes.
Because they told someone
no before
you doesn't mean that you
can you imagine?
Perhaps
I would have gotten it. I probably would have gotten. Maybe I would have gotten it as the one that where they pay you while you're doing it.
Study leave with pay.
Yes, study leave with pay.
Or even if you didn't get study leave with pay and you got the study leave, who knows?
I would have found the thing. Where there's a will, there's a way, right?
I think yeah.
Where there's a will,
so where there's a will, there will be a way.
Yeah.
and then the yes theory.
Yeah.
Just say yes first. Don't even look at the negatives.
Yeah.
I also wanted to add that age, you shouldn't let your age hold you back.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing too.
Yes.
Not even just age, even career. Because the other thing I said to myself is, if I leave now, I'll never make director.
Yes.
Because it was at the point that I was about to be appointed. It was that's a
strategic. That was also a strategic.
Yeah, it was
decision.
just that cusp where you're about to move to this next level. Do you want to leave now? If you leave now, that's it. Somebody else is going to take your place. By the time you come back, you are going to be the oldest person. In the agency, you won't have any.
I think that one was important enough so that you get that, then you go.
Yeah.
I mean, we must still make all these decisions intentionally, strategically, so that it pays us the right way and we have no new regrets because of those decisions.
Yeah.
But then, so I was saying, in terms of age, there's some people and families that believe you should do a master's immediately.
You come out of school.
I think, in my own view, that sometimes it's just a waste. It's just per function.
Yeah.
You don't learn anything, you don't gain. But when you've worked a little bit, then you go and you do your master's.
Yeah.
You'll know really, is this a specialist skill that I want to follow through on? And just as we said, the way you interact in class is also different, and the learning. So we shouldn't let age set us back. Whether it's you feel, I'm too young or I'm too old, age has nothing to do with it. For me, I think that's one learning for me. And then I'm agreeing with you with the yes theory. Tell yourself yes first, and then God will make everything align. He'll align everything.
Yes.
Because I know that immediately in my mind I started saying, I need to start. I want to start talking with intellectuals. I want to increase my knowledge. That was when the IOIKT fellowship thing I got back done. Because I wasn't telling him what I wanted. I wanted to interact with
people who were thinking and who are investigating, who are making inquiries, who are having sort of interesting conversations.
Yes. And 50 of us in that class, I would never have known that in this Nigerian public service that there were 50 possible other people, same age, same level as me. And you mean you're here? You mean you two, you're invested? You mean you two, you like to work? And we had wonderful, in fact, we're still having the network, we're still in that group, and some of them are like my good friends, we're calling up each other. So, I think those...
so it's not about regret. It's not about regret. Reflection is not about regret.
Yes.
Reflection is about gathering the tools to make better decisions in the future. Being intentional, for me, that's the biggest one. Being intentional in all sort of the major decisions in your life, not just responding to somebody or responding to somebody's request or responding to somebody's expectation of you, but really thinking about, is this what I need? And then not being afraid to say yes.
And don't regret any choice. That's that's one of my own principles.
Yeah.
Any choice I make, I never go back and fall on the regret side, except maybe, something happened on its own. But even that, there's an opportunity to learn. Always.
So, so this is where we sort of bring in our audiences to say, okay, as we're sharing, the lessons of our own journey, we also want to hear from people who are listening, right? What's one decision that you wish you could revisit, and what did that decision teach you? And you can send the story to our website. We're going to insert the URL.
Yes.
Or you can tag us on our Instagram with the hashtag Hindsight Lessons. We'll also post that there. And then if you post your stories, we are assuming that it means also that you're willing for us to share your stories. If you don't want us to mention your name, then indicate that you don't want your name to be mentioned. Because we want this podcast to just be our voices, right? We want other people to sort of chime in and share their own reflections on decisions that they've made. So next week, or rather our next episode. Yeah, our next episode may not be next week, it might be tomorrow. Our next episode, we want to be talking about one of the biggest choices that many people face, both male and female, young and old, is whom you marry or whom you don't marry.
That's going to be
That's a good one, right? I want to explore stories of people who rushed in, or who waited too long, or those who just got it right, and want to reflect on the lessons about the choices they made and how they feel about those choices now when they look back. So that's it.
Okay, sounds great. So that's it for our first episode. So you know how we say in Nigeria, just manage with us. This is our first one. We're going to get better. But you know, sometimes when something is even too beautiful, too smooth,
then it sounds so scripted.
It sounds scripted.
Let it just be organic.
We're just here. The joy of this is just having fun discussing, being
and sharing the discussion with other people, because some of our discussions are just they're just absolutely great. I think that other people will benefit from some of them. In fact, sometimes I say to myself, some of these phone calls that I had, that I should have recorded them. I should have recorded them, because even just for me to sort of like play back and listen to what
I remember the last conversation that we
had.
I was going to an event. I stood in the parking lot. I think that was almost 20 minutes conversation that the lady who was having the birthday kept coming. Oh, come inside. I said, I'm coming. I'll be right there. She would have thought I was signing or talking $1 million contract. Just talking, gist. And that's where you talk and then maybe, now I understand. Oh, this is a new perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. That's another way to look at it, I think. And there's something also, they say that the person who asks questions can never misread.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so we look forward to the next episode.
Yeah, see you then.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.